Those ships really deserve better. So today I wanted to talk about the ships that stole my heart despite being in a relatively bad show. Mork and T in My Tea. I already talked about those two in my ranking forgettable BLs video, but gosh yo, the way in which I adore those two. So first I'll go into why I love this ship and then how the show fell them. So Mork are probably in my top 5 favorite BL ships for one good reason: chemistry. At only 17, Drake Frank managed to have one of the best chemistries I've ever witnessed. There's so much pining and tension going on that I died about 10 times per episode. The acting is top notch, especially from Drake, who I think deserves a lot more credit as an actor because I find him amazing. I'm legit so excited to see how his career is gonna evolve because I see a lot of bright things ahead of him. But how did the show fail Mork T? First, I think we need to address the production. The sound and picture are probably the worst I've ever witnessed from GMMTV. The sound is absolutely terrible half of the time, and the lighting is absolutely way too yellow that it really hurts my eyes. Apart from that, the writing is also not very good. The first 6 episodes were actually really great in my opinion. They show Mork T's progression from fake boyfriends to real ones and showed their feelings very well. But at the halfway mark, the show takes a turn. From a fun and lighthearted series, it becomes a forbidden romance with some terminal illness in the background. The show gets really depressing out of nowhere, and also the writing gets much worse. It's really sad because I think if they had spread the first 6 episodes on the whole show, it would have been so much better. But I think Drake and Frank really did their best with what they were given and still managed to shine, so they really deserve a lot of credit in my opinion. Pop and Oat in What the Duck. I'm still bitter about that one. So in my opinion, Pop Oat are halfway between a very funny ship and a very serious and heartfelt one. It's personally the many scenes portraying Oat as completely gone and in love with Pop that really made me fall for this ship. Their love is both loud and subdued at the same time, so beautiful and sad at once. Both actors have excellent chemistry and act really well. How did the show fail them? It's fucking terrible, that's why. They introduced the secondary ship with a sex scene which of course would get the fetishizing fans standing them immediately, only to break them up like 2 episodes later and never put them back together. So they literally stole Pop Oat's spotlight for a ship that doesn't even end up together. Let's not even talk about the sequel because it hurts way too much. But let's just say the ending is not a happy one and I'm still scared about it. I still love Pop Oat though, but I cannot help but imagine how perfect they would have been if they were in a well-written show with a happy ending. Jamie and Namna from The Judgment. So in case you didn't know, I adore Montanuchai. Like, I'm legitimately in love with him. And in this show, this is not only his best role in terms of acting, but also his best ship. Even though they don't have many scenes together, from the very first scene they have together, the chemistry is electric. Like, I'm really not kidding. Put Mon and FIFA in a BL together because gosh, the chemistry was so good. They delivered each scene with perfection and honestly had the potential to become one of my favorite ships. How did the show fail them? Well, watch my video on the feminine gay men in Thai dramas and you will know all about it. The main ship from Make Our Days Count. Those two were amazing. I wasn't really a fan of the secondary ship because of the age gap, but the main ship was so good and you guessed it, had amazing chemistry. I also really like how the story went. One of the guys decided to pursue the other and it was kind of the whole story. But how did the show fail them? Well, big, huge spoiler, they killed one of them off. So the one who already struggled so much, who lost his parents, who had to study all day to keep up with school and work at night to be able to support himself, yes, that one got killed. He got killed in a car accident before he could even enjoy his happiness. Honestly, f this series, man. Kim and Wei from The Shipper. I'm about to spoil you all of The Shipper, but honestly, you shouldn't watch this series anyway. Speaking of killing off their LGBTQ+ characters, yeah. So Kim Wei were so good. They had this friends to lovers vibe, this really good chemistry, and I really liked how for most of the show we didn't know if they truly liked each other or not. How did the show fail them? Well, they killed Kim off and left Wei mourning the loss of the love of his life, who loved him back, but whom he'll never get the chance to be with.
Yep.
Pretty fucked up in my opinion, especially since GMMTV usually does only exclusively happy endings. I really don't know what they were thinking in that show. The Strays do survive though and get together, so yeah. Guide and Tanai from My Dream. Okay, so I just can never not laugh when I think about My Dream, but both Guide and Tanai were low-key amazing. They had like 5 scenes together, but their chemistry was so good it managed to outshine the main ship, which was just weird. The guy watched as the other guy grew up and fell in love with him. I don't know, that's weird. But Guy and Tanai were really great. So how did this series fail them? They ended on a cliffhanger, cut a very important scene, and also didn't go through with the planned season 2 since they flopped so hard. August and Bright from I Am Your King. Who would have thought Good and Kangla from Love by Chance made a good ship? And even though they're not even the main ship, they managed to steal the spotlight and have really good chemistry. I honestly like them a lot and very often rewatch their storyline because it's just really short and cute. How did the show fail them? Well, it ended so abruptly when they just had a fight, leaving us to think that maybe they don't get back together, which sucks. Baz and Smile from Boy for Rent. My baby Mon is here again and he's gonna be here in another show, so like at this point it's really just the Mon video. Baz and Smile were really fucking good. They looked great together, had amazing chemistry, and I really liked their storyline. They were what made the show popular, completely eclipsing the other couple, which was cute but not on their level at all. How did the show fail them? Well, it's not that bad, I guess. It's just that the show dragged on for too long and was just quite mediocre, if we must be honest. I wonder if I would like it more now as a binge watch rather than when I had to wait 1 week between each episode. I'll probably rewatch it someday to see. Sky and Hoshi from My Dear Warrior. Those two were really adorable. I truly loved their chemistry and the development of their story, but this show was way too long, man. It lost me after episode 10 and it had 20 episodes, which is just humongous for a Netflix show. It's also a very childish show. It honestly reminds me of those shows with magic that I used to watch when I was 11 or 12 on TV, which is okay, but at the same time it makes it quite boring for an adult to watch. It's really not bad though, and I would still recommend it even though it's not on top of my recommendation list. I just think that Hoshi and Sky would have fit a more mature show better because Hope's and Byfern's chemistry was really no joke. Apple and Y from Waterboy. This show is really terrible. It's mostly very boring. Contains an attempted rape scene between the main characters, turns the lesbian characters bisexual out of literally nowhere, makes both main characters boring and kinda annoying. This show is just not good. These tag ships don't really add much to it either. For me, truly, the reason to watch this show is only for the amazing casts. But if we take away the whole show and just keep Y and Apple, giving them better personalities, these two are really cute. They really had amazing chemistry, like that kiss on the stairs is literally BL history. I just feel like if this show had been written better and just like the movie it didn't have any lack of constant scene, maybe Earth-New would have been the big ship to come out of this series, instead of Tenyu, who honestly had a lot less chemistry at the beginning. Speaking of Tenyu, Pete and Cal from Kiss Me Again. I'm planning on doing a full video on Thai dramas that were a waste of a great cast, and this show is on the top of my list. The cast is literally insane, yet it's one of the worst GMMTV shows. Every ship except Pete Cow is trash. Tanner's character is trying to find out if Mon's character is gay with the creepiest and most disgusting techniques. And Marsh's character is way too forceful with Fawn's character. For the ship between Earth and the other sister, they were cute but way too underdeveloped in my opinion. So even though, let's be honest, Pete Cow and Kiss Me Again aren't that good, they're still the only kind of interesting ship. And the show fails them by being so so dreadful to get through. Thankfully, GMMTV has a 3-part series with all the pit cow scenes from Kiss Me Again, so you don't have to subject yourself to the horror of watching this show, which I did, and it was terrible. But frankly, pit cow really became excellent only in Dark Blue Kiss. Simon and Keaton from Bangkok Love Stories, Innocence. Their story was really interesting. I felt it quite changed from usual BL storylines, with a lot of buried feelings and misunderstandings. I really quite liked them. But the show really failed them by being very mediocre apart from them, but also not giving them nearly enough screen time. I honestly would love to see a full BL without the other unnecessary ships developing that storyline further, because it was really interesting. Nung and Kay from Hotel Stars. Listen, those two are cute. Cruelly underdeveloped, but cute nonetheless. Sadly, even them couldn't save how boring this show ended up being. I gave it a chance until the very end because I love SB5 and the original 2 Moons cast, but yeah, it wasn't good. It was just boring and not interesting from any standpoint. Don't even bother watching for the BL storyline because their screen time is super low. Ty and Earn from Turn Left, Turn Right. Nanon and Pumeg were freaking iconic. They had great chemistry, looked amazing together, and that kiss scene was just so beautiful for their first on-screen kiss for the both of them. But where the show failed them is that it was goddamn terrible. It was so disappointing because I really love the cast, especially Pat Chayanit, who is my queen. So it was really disappointing to see them be done so wrong with a show where every character is so unlikable. You just want to punch them in the face. I truly regret watching this show because I really disliked it and truly considers it one of GMMTV's worst. Even though Nanon and Pumeg's chemistry is amazing, it's definitely not used to the advantage of the show because Nanon's character is just such a piece of shit. All the ships from Blacklist. Speaking of really disappointing shows, we have another one in the house. I immediately knew this show wouldn't be very good because it looked like a cheap knockoff of The Gifted. But I really had to watch it because I love the 6 boys starring in it, especially Drake First and Ohm, who are probably some of my favorite actors. And to my surprise, these ships were okay. They even had quite cute moments. My 2 favorites were Nanon's ship and Drake's ship with Ploy, who were all really cute together. But first of all, having the girl gang of the show being reduced to being the love interest and kind of just following the boys around was really annoying. And also the ships weren't developed nearly enough because this was an action show. But the plot of this series was shit, so we didn't even have the ships to save it. Also the fake kisses sent me. All the ships from So Much in Love. Look no further, I found the worst show on earth. I wish I was exaggerating. This is pure flying hot garbage. There is nothing redeemable about it. Don't watch it. But I have to admit that the 3 main ship of the Ghost and the Student, Strong's ship, and the 2 best friends to lovers ship were cute. It's just that their writing was so terrible and their development so chopped off that it just stopped there. Yeah, they were cute, but the show completely fucked them over. So really, there is nothing redeemable about this show. So this was it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun talking those shows. I'm gonna go watch I Told Sunset About You, which is honestly so far probably my favorite show of the year. Anyways, I can't wait for the episode and I hope you have a good day.